And
Okay,
we're
all right.
live. We are live.
Yay.
This is ElNido Podcast.
So it's been a while, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It's been like what, 2 weeks?
It's been two
3 weeks
weeks.
maybe if you put in the
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
no, but I think yeah, 3 weeks for the English one, yeah. Um, yeah, I guess we just finished the education part about university and stuff like that.
Yep.
So I guess starting from this week, we were thinking about talking about I guess work in Japan, as
Work in
very broad as it
Japan.
is. Yeah,
Difference between
like from
work in
work
Japan and
culture.
America.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, basically. So I guess transitioning from the student to a shakaijin, which
Shakaijin.
is basically an adult, I guess. No,
Yeah,
I mean, well,
basically.
I feel like you could be an
Working
adult
men,
as a student.
working adults,
Yeah,
working human.
but yeah, I mean, before we get into that, I don't know, how was your week? Let's just do like a quick
I
weekly recap.
So like we had 2 weeks off?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Why did we have the first week off? Oh, because I was at my grandma's house and the internet was bad.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I
Uh-huh.
was at my grandma's house. Um, yeah, we didn't really do anything at my grandma's house. But um, what did I do at my grandma's house? It was very
Your
hot.
grandma's house was where?
Oh,
Yokohama, right?
it's in Odawara. It's like the very
Oh,
southern part
Odawara.
of Kanagawa Prefecture.
Oh, right, right.
And since
It's
my
it's like really
grandma's
close to
house,
Hakone.
oh yeah, it is. It is. It's very close to Hakone. And yeah, since my grandma's house doesn't have any air conditioning, it was very hot. Like the inside the house is like a lot hotter than like the outside.
The outside,
Yeah. So like I was just
was
like,
it like an old wooden house?
it's a old wooden house. It's very old.
Okay, okay, I see.
Like my grandma lived in that house since like her oldest son was born. Ever since she got married.
Dang. Oh, so it was your grandpa's house then, like his family house
Like
from
I think it
before.
was like they built the house.
Oh wow, dang,
Yeah. They borrowed the land and they built a house
dang.
when they got married.
So yeah, then obviously there's no AC. There's just
Yeah.
um
It's just fans.
airflow basically. Yeah,
Yeah, it's very bad.
from the windows. And
So
then
like
what
mhm.
about oh sorry, yeah.
So like 2 weeks ago at my grandma's house, the only thing I was doing basically was laying around sweating like a pig, and that was
Wait,
it.
why were you at your grandma's house to begin with?
To begin. So why was I? Why was I? Oh, on Saturday. On that week's Saturday, I went out with my cousin to go eat kakigori, shaved ice.
Yeah.
And like when we were done like eating, she was all like, "Why don't you just come over?" And I was like, "Okay." So I just went over to my grandma's house. I just went with the flow.
and, and then you just stayed there for the
Yeah,
night.
yeah,
I
basically.
see.
And then like the next week, last weekend, um, I went over to my grandma's house again on Friday night after work
Hmm. Okay.
because I had to go do hoji. What's hoji in English?
Koji?
Hoji
Oh, like what?
memorial service.
Just like errands? Errands?
Is it
Oh,
called
memorial?
memorial
Wait. Oh.
service for my grandpa?
Oh, okay.
It was like
Oh. Okay. Okay. Okay.
it was like his 22nd, 23rd year of since his death, and we just went
Oh, okay.
over to a temple, listened to a guy chant for us, and then like
Right.
just clean up the grave and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So
I've done that too. Yeah.
that's what I did on. That's the main reason why I went to my grandma's house last weekend. And on
Mm.
Saturday, like the Hoji memorial service was on Sunday, and on Saturday I went
Yeah.
over to Hanabi Taikai fireworks. I went out to watch fireworks at a Japanese
Right.
festival.
Right now, it's like really popular, especially in the
E,
summer.
it is. It is. Like it was crowded. I couldn't like buy any food
Hmm.
at the actual festival because there
Oh,
was
is
too
it
much
just too
people.
long?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I
basically, we
see.
just like sat on the floor and just watched the fireworks. It was nice.
How long was it?
The
The
fireworks
like the
itself, I think it was like
Yeah.
an hour.
Oh wow.
It was
Dang.
pretty long. Yeah. It felt like an hour. It might be shorter. I don't know.
And it was free to
It's
attend.
all
Like
free.
you could just walk into the
Yeah,
yeah.
into a park and just watch.
I mean, obviously the food and the games are probably you have
Oh
to
yeah,
pay like a
you have to
couple
pay for
yen, but
that,
yeah,
and it's expensive. But that's how all festivals are. All the food is expensive.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like the main reason why we took like 2 weeks off. I was at my grandma's house.
Right. I mean, yeah. It's
Yeah,
I think it's all right. Yeah. Summer is like where all the fun begins, so it's like really hot right now, so everyone wants to probably kind of vacation.
and for this week in Japan, we have Obon Yasumi. We have like the summer
Oh,
vacation
right.
for a week.
When was it? It was like the 15th.
It's
What was
like
it?
right now.
Hmm.
It started like on Friday on the 11th,
Hmm.
and I have a day off until the 20th. Yes, next week.
Oh,
So I
you have a
think
week off then,
yeah, I have a whole
basically.
week off. So
Oh, shoot. Nice.
next week I might be like talking about what I did on this long vacation.
Hmm. Hmm. Dang,
Yeah,
that's pretty nice.
yeah,
August is usually the month that America, or American U.S. people don't have like
any
any vacations
vacations.
at all. There's no like notable, yeah,
Mm,
national holiday or anything like that. Like
yeah,
last month, well, we had July 4th, but that was it.
Japan has a lot of like national holidays. So it's all good.
I feel like America has more though.
Do they?
Usually, they have unnecessarily like a lot.
But like it's not like 100% day off, right?
I don't know. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's like around the same if you tally
Oh,
up the
maybe,
number of national holidays between Japan and America. So
maybe.
I'm drinking coffee right now. So
Ooh, what kind of coffee?
I think like a latte,
Nice,
maybe iced latte.
nice. So, what did you do over this 2 weeks?
Nothing. Just working basically. I've been going in more than like 8 hours now. I think every day. It's
Eight
usually like,
hours. Damn.
well, if you put in the commute, it
Mm-hmm.
takes me an hour to get there and an hour to go back. So so maybe like 10 hours,
Mm,
11 hours maybe. Because
damn.
I'm usually there from 8:30 to maybe like 6.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
That's
I
a
mean
long time.
it's fun. So it's not too bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good.
Hmm. But yeah,
So
nothing of
that's it
interest,
for
I'd
your like
say. I could
catch
talk.
up.
Yeah, yeah. Like I could talk about what I did at work, but that's probably not fun. So,
What did you do at work?
um,
What kind of machine did you like play around with?
I mean, we're tuning the machine, and we had to troubleshoot because
Mm,
something wasn't working well. And then usually when you use the machine, you have these standards, and then to put those standards or to put anything in the machine, you have to prepare it, and that preparation takes a long time. So I guess this week was mostly preparing that. So then maybe
Makes
the
sense.
beginning of so on Monday we could put it in the machine and start doing work. But in my university, this upcoming week there's like a conference. So basically, like researchers from around the world come and then like they give talks at this conference. So it's gonna be a long week because I'm not sure if we could get work done because we might have to just listen to a lot of people's talks.
Makes sense. Okay, so
But yeah, I don't really have anything up to update people, so I guess we could just start into the questions.
the main topic.
Yeah.
Wait.
So what is we just finished talking about? Yeah.
Oh no, I was like, we didn't
Okay.
explain what this podcast is about, you know?
Oh yeah. So I don't know. This is like our 4th or 5th episode, so hopefully people are up to date. But basically, Tetsu and me were we both grew up in around the Southern California region, and then after high school, Tetsu went to Japan, and then I stayed here for university and I guess work, and there afterwards, I guess after that. So we're here to kind of talk about like the differences between various aspects of Japanese versus English or American life. So for the past few episodes, we've talked about like educational stuff. So we talked about applying to universities, like the difference between a Japanese and American university, like how it's structured, what kind of classes you take, and then I guess now, and then we talked about kind of like social life as well, like what college student life is, and now we're talking about like afterwards, like after you graduate, what do people do basically?
It's a great transition, I guess.
So yeah, I guess maybe we could start off with a brief timeline of what happened after you graduated, or yeah, well, let's see. Yeah, just give us a really brief one. So where did he go after?
So after graduating, I went over to I started working at a supermarket.
Okay.
And like I was like selling vegetables and fruits for like a year and a half. And I got moved into the main headquarters, and I started programming for the company. And that's where I first learned how to program and stuff.
Okay.
And I did a year of I was programming for them for a year. And then I quit that job and I came all the way to Tokyo, the main big city, to actually work at an IT company. And yeah, I'm currently working at an IT company programming.
So how long has that been then since you graduated until now?
So I was selling vegetables for a year and a half, 2 years. So it's been like about 4 years now since I graduated.
Okay. So yeah. So right after you worked at a supermarket for like a year, and then the main headquarters we did some programming, and then now you kind of switched jobs and you're at Tokyo doing some IT technical stuff. So I guess
yes.
That's like the brief overview, but I guess we could kind of delve more in depth. Excuse me. Yeah. So I guess I want to start off with like whether it was your case or whether your case was like a typical like average Japanese student's case or not. When do people usually start looking for jobs? Like, is there internships usually like in the 3rd year of college, or do they just start looking for jobs after they graduate and stuff like that? How's the case, like for you and
Mhm.
other people?
So for most people, I think they start looking for like internships at like junior year of college,
Mm-hmm.
and like actually start like taking interviews and like actually applying for work at like the first semester of the senior year.
Fourth year?
Usually
Okay.
first half of senior year you look for a job, and then
Okay.
like the last half of senior year is basically graduate thesis. So like you should most people should have like a job before the second semester of the senior year. Most.
Right. They call it like shukatsu, like, right?
Yeah,
Shukatsu is
shukatsu
like
kikon,
the,
and
the
like
term.
it's like a
Yeah.
job hunting season.
Yeah. And that's typically the beginning of fourth year, or is it like from your third year?
It's
Like
like beginning of fourth year
okay.
usually. Yeah,
Okay.
but for me, I was late because I was at Taiwan for
Oh,
the
right. You were studying abroad.
yeah, for the last for the first half of my senior year. So basically I was like rushing to get a job after I came back from Taiwan.
Hmm.
And like usually people take like 3 or at least like 3 months to find a job, and like take like many
Mm-hmm.
interviews and like apply for like different jobs and stuff just in case.
Okay.
For me, I only applied to like one and took like one interview
Oh, okay.
because I was like pretty much rushing through it.
Hmm.
So yeah, I ended up
So then,
working
yeah.
at a supermarket because of that.
So then, I guess um,
Mhm.
my next question. So let's see. So you do internships your third year, and
Uh-huh.
is it usually the case where the jobs you apply to or you get into is like kind of related to the internship, like the same company, or no? Not usually the case. Like, does your internship
Mhm.
kind of connect to a job at that company?
I'm not sure, but like I think most internship, like you got most people will get hired by the end of the internship by that company,
Oh, okay, okay,
most likely.
okay. I see.
So like if you get
And
into,
then,
mhm.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, so like I think most people, if they're doing an internship, they're trying to like get a
Hmm.
job at that company, most likely. I think,
Okay,
unless it's
okay.
like a
And
little
then,
internship summer camp kind of stuff where you could like experience
right.
many different companies. But like yeah.
So, what is it? So you usually start the school year around April. So is the
Mm-hmm.
shukatsu season, hunting season, like usually around like the summer or like the spring to summer,
It's like
maybe?
yeah, spring to summer. It takes about like 9 months. About 9 months.
Oh
No,
wow, okay.
that's not right.
And for like job hunting, is
Oh,
it
but damn. Uh huh.
typically like, do people do people just use like Indeed or like LinkedIn and stuff like that? Like those job
Most people, yeah.
searching like website?
Yeah, most
Okay.
people they just do that, or they just go to the school counselor to like if they have any like
Hmm,
recommendations.
I see.
Yeah.
So I guess my follow-up question is, how do people choose their internship? Is it, or sorry, the jobs they're applying to? Are they mostly, kind of related to whatever they're studying,
Mm-hmm.
or is it just, it doesn't matter at all?
It doesn't matter at all. Like you could be studying anything and like getting to like any job if the company
Okay,
allows you to.
I see.
So
So
like,
so then,
mhm.
companies don't really look at your. So I guess the next question, follow-up question is like, what do companies usually look at when they're like, when someone's applying to the job? Do like your major or your thesis, your topic matter, or is it more about like the school name, like what kind of projects you done?
So like mostly it's all about the school name.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly about school name and like how they vibe with you, like by the how you talk during interviews. Are you like a social person or not and stuff? So like
Okay.
personality and the school name, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And how well you talk and how loyal you are to the company. It's also kind of important depending on like what kind of company
Okay.
you're going into. If you're going
I
to like a
see.
traditional companies, they care a lot about like the loyalty.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Well, I guess I don't know. For me, like how I think about it is, you know, um, for jobs that like whatever
Mm-hmm.
you're applying to, like for jobs that like are places that are like, oh, we don't really care about what you studied. Is
Mm-hmm.
it mostly like office work? Like you're in an office and you just do computer work most of the time?
Yeah.
Because I
Mm-hmm.
feel like if you're like a programmer or like an engineer, those are more kind of specialized. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure companies will look at like whether you studied those kind of topics or not. But like the ones that are, you know, your thesis or your major is irrelevant. Is it
Mm-hmm.
mostly like office work?
Yeah, it's mostly office like easy
Okay.
task work. Um
Maybe we could kind of talk about what a sarariman is in Japan then, right? Because that's kind of related to like kind of everyday office work, 8 hours or why I don't know. What how do you what do you think?
what do I think?
Like, do people that
Uh,
let's say they studied music, for example,
uh-huh.
they did a music major, but then they went to like a pretty big company or corporation like
Mm-hmm.
Rakuten or
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, some other like pretty big Japanese company.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say like most people do you think they'll do like off like what am I trying to say? Like I guess I kind of lost my train of thought, but I guess we could kind of talk about sararima in a way because I feel like it's like a cultural concept in a way too. Like the name implies like salary man. It's like people
Mm.
that work for like I don't know. It's like I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how to explain it. It's like a negative for
Yeah.
me. It's like a negative connotation, but I don't know for you. Like when you hear the word sararima,
Mm-hmm.
like what do you kind of like
Like when I
imagine?
hear
What
Saralima,
is sararima? I guess. Yeah.
I like imagine a guy just working whatever job he has to like support his family. You know,
Mm,
like
mm.
I don't think it's that
Yeah.
negative, but like it's not the best thing you could do for yourself.
Right. It's like yeah. I think I don't know. I mean, I'm not I'm not saying everyone is, but like to me, when I
Mm-hmm.
hear sararian, it just sounds like someone that's just doing their job, but
That's true.
whether they enjoyed it or not, that's not really relevant. They're just doing the job for hourly wages, just
Mm-hmm.
just time in and time out.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of well, I don't know. I kind of see a connection where people or companies that kind of accept people, whatever whatever you studied in college doesn't matter. It's just whether you can work or not.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Um, it's like pretty like connected or related to like the whole sarariman thing, where you just do work. It doesn't matter what you do.
Uh-huh.
It's just purely to earn money and yeah. I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
I guess I kind of see the connection where it doesn't really matter what you
It
did
doesn't really matter.
in the
Yeah.
past or your background is. You're like a, I guess like a wheel or like a cog in like the whole machine type of thing.
A
I don't know.
corporate
I might
slave.
be like, I might be talking bad too much about it, but talking bad about it too much.
But
But
yeah,
yeah, I
like
guess.
I think most Japanese
Hmm.
like working people is basically a salaryman.
Okay.
Most. But like if you actually want to get into IT and stuff, like you do need to know how to like program stuff. But like
Right. Right.
if you just graduated from like university or college, most IT companies like willing to like teach you how to program.
Mm.
So like it really doesn't
Yeah.
matter what you study during like your student when you were a student, because like they're gonna teach you.
Right.
And
Yeah. I
like
mean, like if you think about it,
mhm,
it's like like kids nowadays or students nowadays, they use the computer for most of the things. So like
yeah,
they they're more, I guess, used to like tech stuff than they wouldn't really teach like a 40-year-old or a 50-year-old dude
that's true.
that's hasn't really touched a computer too much. So
Yeah. And like, you know, like Japanese companies, they are like they see like they prioritize having like a
hmm.
blank sheet of canvas, you know,
A what?
a blank sheet of canvas.
A what?
So like a person who doesn't know anything, so they could like
Mm.
teach them and like, well, if you put it badly, like brainwash them so like they will work for them forever, you know. So like they don't want any experienced person, so like they would be like
Mm.
going out to different jobs and stuff. They want that one person to
Well,
like be
yeah,
working for them for the rest of their life. So
that's true. I mean,
that's
if
why
they're
they
not
don't
going to
look
do
at
any
like
specialized
education.
job,
Hmm.
yeah, if they're not going to do a specialized job like programming or engineering stuff, or yeah, then it's better. I think it's more important that they're like a hard worker or they
No,
work
like
good or something like that
these
than
days,
like the specific skills.
even like programmers, you don't even need to know the skills. They just like hire you and teach you from the beginning.
Mm, okay.
Like if
So
you
then, yeah, yeah.
if you're not like the newly graduate student, then like
Hmm.
they will look for your skills. But like if you just
Mm,
graduated, they're just looking for like hard working person,
hmm.
hard young working
Okay, I
students.
see.
So like they don't really care about your skills, even in like engineering
I
and
see. I see.
programming.
So then, like, if you're like a foreigner that wants to live in Japan,
Hmm.
right? Um, which would you recommend them? Like, if they're looking for jobs, like, would
Like
you recommend them to just like apply for anything, or because they're a foreigner that could
mhm.
like speak English or something, or they studied something like programming or whatever? Do you kind of encourage them to apply to more specialized jobs?
Like for foreigners, like Japanese companies doesn't see them as like newly graduated person, even though they just
Hmm.
graduated from college. So like they will be looking for skills for like foreigners, and
Okay.
like they don't think that like a foreigner will be like working for them for like the long time,
I
for
see.
like at least 10 years. So like they don't actually want to hire for most companies. I don't think they want to hire foreigners unless they're like English school where they teach children English.
Right.
So like the easiest
Right.
job a foreigner could get in Japan is like English teaching jobs.
An English teacher.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I was looking at some of them too, like
yeah,
last year, but
yeah,
I
and like
think
they're not like that good. Like the payment is not that good.
yeah, it's really not that
It's
good.
like minimum
Unless you're
wage.
like hired to like a rich like private school,
Mm-hmm.
usually it's not
It's
too
like
well. But like I don't
minimum
know. I
wage.
mean, if you live in like a like non-urban area,
Mm-hmm.
then maybe like the wage you get versus like the living costs might be good. But
That's true.
I I think like if it's like a short-term thing, I think
Mm-hmm.
I'd say go for it. But I don't know if you want to do it for like a long term, like
You
a
don't.
English teacher,
You really don't.
right?
Like to
So then I
most
guess
foreigners,
yeah.
like
Hmm.
working for life in Japan is not a good idea.
Mm. Right. I'd
Yeah.
say like because like I feel like if you're a foreigner, salaryman type of job or office job is probably not the best thing or
It's
for
not.
you,
Mm-hmm.
because first of all, I don't think companies would want to hire you
Mm-hmm.
for like a those kind of salaryman like kind of I don't want to use say mundane, but those yeah
Mundane jobs.
salaryman jobs. But like I feel like it's a better shot to do more specialized jobs like
It is.
translator or I mean if you are really good at like coding or if you're
Mm-hmm.
good like a really good engineer and stuff like that, then yeah,
Like
probably like better. Yeah, specialized jobs are better. Yeah.
it's a good idea if you're planning to do it for like short term, like 1 or 2 years.
Mm, right. Right.
Like
Right. Or
on
or if you
uh-huh.
if you go to or if you work for like American company that has like an office in Japan or something.
Mm. Yeah,
Because
so
I know a couple people that work in like I don't know, was it like Google or like some
mm-hmm.
JP Morgan or like Facebook or Instagram or
Mm-hmm.
something like that, and then they work in like the Tokyo offices. So, um,
Mm.
but obviously, I feel like those chances or spots are way limited than just applying for like a regular
It is.
job in Japan.
It is.
So yeah, yeah, I guess living in Japan and working there is pretty hard as a foreigner. I'd
It
say.
is. It should be. And
Hmm.
like, Japanese people in Japan, they're like a lot of people are pretty much racist.
No, yeah, that's true.
Pretty
Japan
much.
is, if you look at the racial diversity, there's probably like census charts and stuff like that. If you check Japan, it's basically just Japanese people. So
And like Japanese people, like they don't seem racist because like they're polite, you know. They know that they
yeah,
shouldn't like act bad, like talk bad about like foreigners in front of a foreigner. But like they do talk about badly about foreigners when there's like no foreigners around,
okay, and not to
and which is bad.
like
I
take
think it's
not
worse
to
than
take a dump
actual
on
racists.
not to take a dump on Japanese people, but like I feel like the politeness, like the whole like what is it like the like
Mm-hmm.
Japanese people are so polite or they're like the nicest people in the world. It's like it's just like an etiquette or like an
It
outside
is.
thing. It's like inside, it's they're just basically doing it because it's like a like it's like part of their like societal like norm or rules
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Like internally, they're probably like yeah, they're probably not the nicest people. I'd say like American people like they're a lot more sincere. Like when they do like good stuff, I feel like they're a lot more like
Yeah, they are.
they actually mean it. But like some like Japanese people, I feel like most of these politeness acts or like polite acts are it's just like oh they've been taught to do that like
Yeah.
so they do it. But like
They just
internally
do
they
it
might
so
be
they don't
like
get judged.
yeah. So I mean not saying everyone is, but yeah,
Most.
I feel like Japan is a lot more conservative than
Yeah.
America, I'd say.
Yeah.
So um I feel like if you're a foreigner and you've only like went to Japan as like a tourist, you might be like, oh shoot, Japan's like really nice, like everyone's so nice and stuff like that. But I feel like once you start living there and working there,
And they
you
start
know,
realizing all the
it might,
etiquette and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, they might not like give you like the same courtesy or treatment,
Yeah. Like it
unfortunately.
might be a
But
bit stressful.
yeah,
It might be
yeah,
a
but I
bit
feel like
stressful. Mm-hmm.
it's becoming a lot more accessible or like isn't it because of the like the Olympics and I feel like when I was in Japan I was like oh
That's
shoot
true.
there's a lot more like English labels like not just English but also like in Chinese or Korean and Arabic and stuff like that. There's like a
Mm-hmm.
lot more like accessibility towards like foreigners. So I feel like maybe compared to like a decade ago,
Yeah, that's
Japan
true.
has become more accessible. But don't think that it's all like, you know, oh wow, it's like a paradise,
It's not.
for to live there. Yeah. But yeah. I mean, I guess going back to like the work thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say unless you're like you have like specialized skills,
Mm-hmm.
it might be hard to you to get like an average job that pays well.
Yeah,
Because one, if you can't speak Japanese, I feel like a lot of places won't really hire you
they
unless
won't.
you're like an English teacher or something,
Mm-hmm.
right? And yeah, like it has to be a specialized job, I feel
Even
like.
like English teachers, I think they need to know at least like some Japanese,
Yeah,
like being
yeah.
at least to like be able to like communicate with the students.
Right.
So
Because
tell
there are
sure.
like
Uh-huh.
there are like positions where you're like a assistant teacher, so you only speak
Mm,
English, and then there's like a main teacher that kind of like explains in Japanese. But I feel like since you're kind of dividing the job, and you're like an assistant, there's like a assistant to your title.
mm-hmm.
You probably don't get paid as much as like a
Yeah, I'm
regular
pretty
or
sure
main
you won't.
teacher, um, which is already kind of not the highest
Mm-hmm.
salaries or so
Well,
I don't know. I don't know if I would recommend
I wouldn't
working
either.
in
If
Japan.
you have like a special skill, you should just go work for at like America or somewhere that pays a lot better.
Okay, okay, I see.
That's my opinion.
But yeah, but I guess for people that are just purely interested in how work culture in Japan is, we could
Mm-hmm.
I guess continue the conversation a little bit more. Um, okay, so we talked about what companies look at. What about like the interview process? And so like
Mm-hmm.
you use these websites like Indeed or LinkedIn
Mm-hmm.
to kind of like submit your resumes to
Yeah,
places that are hiring, and then what happens after that?
and basically, if they like your resume, they invite you for like an interview. And like the
Okay,
interview process is also like kind of, it's not confusing, but like there's a lot of rules that you have to remember, like how many times you have to knock on the door before entering.
wait, what?
Like
What is that? What does that
I
mean?
think you're only supposed to like knock 2 times, like knock knock,
Wait, so this
and
is
not knock knock knock.
is this like a is this like universal? Like every company in Japan
Every
has to like
yeah,
follow.
I think it was 2 or 3 times, knock 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 or knock knock.
Oh, that's stupid.
And like I think like knock
Like,
knock, like one of them
yeah.
is for like entering like the interview room, and the other is like
Okay.
for like checking on the restroom or something.
Checking. Oh, dude. Like
So
what? Like
uh-huh,
that's like so unnecessary.
it is.
Like
There's
I
a
guess
whole bunch of unnecessary stuff in Japanese
it's like
interview process.
tradition. Why is it like? Why do you have to be so traditional or conservative in that aspect?
I know, right? And once you enter the interview room, right,
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
have to wait until they like tell you to come in, and you go in, and you have to stand next to the seat that you're supposed to sit, and you have to wait until they tell you to sit. And before sitting, you have to introduce yourself
Mm.
and then sit. And all those
I
like
don't know,
random
man. That
rules.
sounds just it just sounds stupid to me.
It
Like
is.
it's so old fashioned.
It is. It is.
But I guess that's Japan, yeah. Okay. So there's like a set of rules that you have to kind of rehearse
Mm-hmm.
in order to do the interview and stuff. Like, is it what kind of questions do they ask? Is it just purely based on like, oh, do you have this job title is like this, so you have a set of skills like and stuff like that right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Do they kind of ask kind of personal questions?
Not much. They just ask for your like hobby
Okay.
and stuff mostly.
Okay. To kind of see what kind of person you are.
Yeah, and what you did when you were a
Okay.
student, what like club
Okay.
activities you took a part in. Um, what else? And like they ask you like couple questions that they had from like reading your resume.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I guess not that different in that aspect.
yeah, pretty much. It's not that different. And
And yeah, yeah.
depending on the company, they instruct you on like what kind of hairstyle you have during the interview.
Wait, what?
What kind of
They tell
hairstyle
you
you
what
have?
kind of
Yeah,
hairstyle?
yeah.
Wait,
Like you
you
have,
have to have?
yeah, like your hair has to be like at least this short and stuff.
Oh gosh, that's
But that also like
interesting.
depends on the company. It's not all
For lack of
companies.
better words. Yeah. That's also for schools though, right? Like, not just
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
to wear uniform in like high school, you also have to, have like this short hair or something,
Short
right?
hair, natural, your natural hair color. Uh,
Oh yeah, yeah, you can't dye your hair. Yeah.
so like most
Right, right.
like Japanese like Japan like half half Japanese and American half and like because of the like blood they have like naturally like blonde hair. They
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
have to dye their hair black for the interview and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like if that happened in America, like people will be like outraged, just like that
I know,
that that is
right?
racist.
I
Like
know, right?
you can't force people to change their like ethnicity or yeah, like ethnic features.
Like they
Dang, wait, so you
want
have to dye your
everyone
hair
to look
black?
the same. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, there comes the whole collectivism thing of Japan, I guess.
Hmm.
Mm.
They want you to
I don't
like
know
look
how
the same with everyone else during
people who
the
are
at least during the
listening
interview.
are right. People who are listening, or if they are gonna listen, I feel like they're not really getting a good impression of Japan's work
It
culture. Well, I feel like it's gonna get worse from here as we like talk
is.
more and more about
Japan's work
once you
culture is
start working
bad.
it. I'll give you a heads up. Like, what is it? I think I don't know about this year, but like a couple years ago, the the world's like highest suicide rate per country. I
Hmm.
think Korea was first, and then second was
Second is like
Japan, or
Japan.
third.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what is it called? Karoshi, right?
Yep.
Is like a term that is used in the public, and that literally means like death by like exhaustion.
Yeah.
Like they are overworked and they die.
Overwork and they just kill themselves. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
bad.
either by suicide or they just fall ill. So, well, I guess we could kind of go into that. So,
Hmm.
you, oh wait, sorry. Before that, so you get interviewed, and then, um, how long is like usually like the process, like from your submitting your resume to getting the interview, and then whether you know if you're accepted or rejected.
That also depends on the company. Like for my
Hmm.
company that I worked for right after college, I
Hmm.
got it like a couple minutes later in the interview. I got like
Well, after the interview.
right after the interview, I got it. So like,
Okay, okay.
and usually that's like a bad sign.
Of that sign of,
Like the company might be like a bad company to work for.
oh,
Yeah, that's
oh,
usually a
okay.
bad sign. It's like a red flag in the company. Um, some company like I heard it takes like a month or two,
Mm, mm.
so it takes a while because they want to like look at all
What
the
about for
options. Hmm.
your Tokyo, your current job? Like, how was the process for that?
Like I didn't even go to the interview.
Oh, really? Wait,
Like
why?
at first they were all like we're just gonna explain what kind of company this is and we're gonna have like an interview in other day, you know. So like I was just like
Okay.
taking like a little orientation for the company. basically,
Mm.
and like planning to take the interview afterwards. But like after the orientation, they just like hired me. They
Oh,
were just
really?
like, "Do you just wanna work here?" And I'm like, "Sure."
Dang. Okay, on the spot.
On the spot, no interviews.
But like maybe for like other people, it might take like a month or two
A
after
month
the
or two.
interview.
Yeah,
Okay, I see. I see.
it took a while.
Okay, so then you applied, you
Hmm.
interviewed, and then you get in.
Hmm.
So what else? What can we start off with? So how would you describe like a typical like work environment for like a salaryman type of thing?
For a salaryman kind of thing. Um,
Or it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be, but like a typical Japanese person that's working. Um, how is the working condition in Japan?
it's bad. It's getting better, but it's bad.
Okay,
Like
okay.
there's still a lot of like
How is it
companies.
bad?
There's still a lot of companies that expect you to like come into work like 20 minutes before the actual starting time and start working 20 minutes before without payment.
Hmm.
So like you'll be actually working by the time at by the starting time, So like
Hmm.
if your job starts at 9, some company wants you to come in at like 8:30. So and like start working at 8:30. And for that 30 minutes you don't
What
get any
happens if you
payment.
don't?
They just
If you
consider
don't,
you
like,
being late.
then they should just say that it starts at 8:30.
I know, right? But like if they say that it
Oh,
starts at 8:30, they had to pay you like extra 30 minutes and they don't want to pay for that 30
right.
minutes.
So they're just being sneaky and
Yeah,
kind of, yeah, unfair. So what other
pretty
aspects
much.
make it bad? The work
Um,
culture.
what else? So like most companies would want you to like wear like a suit. So like a
Okay.
uniform at least, which is not that bad.
Hmm.
Um, and you can't dye your hair. You need to have black hair.
Hmm.
Um, maybe that's why they don't like hire much foreigners.
Because they kind of stand out.
Yeah, they want everyone to look the
What about
same.
so you say, you have to get in or you're expected to clock in early. Or
Hmm.
not clock in, I guess. You're expected to arrive early, but clock in at like around 9 maybe.
Yeah.
What about like when you when you how about like lunch breaks? Let's begin with that. How long are like lunch breaks?
Lunch breaks are like usually 1 hour.
Okay.
Some companies have like 45 minutes, but like
Okay, that's normal then, I
it's
guess.
pretty normal. It's pretty good.
Okay. What about like when you end like for the day? Like are you expected to work overtime? How long? How often?
Um, so it's getting a lot better. Like the working overtime thing is getting a lot better in Japan
Hmm.
by law.
Hmm.
But there's still some companies that like expect you to like work like longer for no absolute reason.
Do you get paid during
Some
that
like
overtime?
some companies they actually don't pay you overtime, but that's
Wow.
like
Okay.
against the law. That's like against the law. So like
Oh, okay, 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 okay.
if you like sue them, you're like most likely win if you have all the evidence. But like
I see.
most companies don't want to pay for the overtime, so they don't.
Okay.
And most Japanese people don't sue them
But
because like I don't know.
but like for overtime, how for like a typical person, how long of how much overtime do they do? Like an
Um,
hour?
no, it's like 3 4 hours.
Wow, wait, what, really?
I think that's like the average. Let me like search for like the average.
Wait, every day?
Like maybe like a week.
A week? Oh, 3 hours, 4 hours? Okay.
maybe. Cause like most people who like works over hours are people who couldn't get the job done within 8 hours.
Oh, okay. Like,
Um, some says like in a month they have like 20 hours.
oh, okay. Okay, I see.
Uh, 80 hours. It depends on the website you search, but like there's like 20 to 80 hours average per month.
That's a that's a big gap.
I know, right? Like
Oh my gosh.
when I used to work at the supermarket,
Yeah.
I've been working over hours like 5 hours every day. Yeah, five
Every
hours
day?
every day. Yeah,
5 hours every. Wait, you work overtime 5 hours
5 hours
every
every day.
day.
But
What?
like the
That's
main
insane.
reason is because like I was working at the vegetable area, right? And like
Okay.
people who works at the vegetable area, they have to like start working very early in the morning, like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. And like
Okay.
the time we leave is like 6, 7 p.m.
That's insane.
So like we've been like working. I've been like overworking like 5 hours every day. Cause like Japanese law, the maximum amount you could work a day is like 8 hours, and after 8 hours is it counts
Right,
as
yeah.
overtime.
Right. Dang, that's insane. You can't even have like
Hmm.
5, right?
I did 5.
Damn. Dang. That's like you barely have enough time. Like when you get back home, you like you have to eat quickly and then in order to get like at least 7 or 8 hours of sleep, like can't do
Mm,
anything. I feel like you just eat and then just sleep.
yeah. Like
Dang,
according
5 hours is
according to
insane.
additional
Yeah,
research, like the maximum
yeah,
amount you could work is 40 hours per week.
40 hours per week.
And if
Okay.
you surpass that,
Yeah,
it's
that's like eight,
overtime.
eight, eight.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah,
the
that's
same
eight
thing.
hours per day.
Yeah.
That's that's insane. That's I don't know. That to me that sounds pretty bad. 5 hours a day. Damn.
Yeah, cause like back
Do you
then I
get
started work at like 5
yeah?
a.m. and then like I
Damn.
like if it was like normal 8 hours, that would be like I would have to like leave work at like 2 p.m., which is like one of the peak hours
Right,
for the
right,
store.
right.
So I can't leave.
Dang,
I have to stay
that's
until like
insane. Wait,
5 o'clock at least.
do
Hmm.
is your overtime like pay like higher than your regular?
Like usually like after overtime they just pay you hourly, right? So like it becomes like most companies they like divide your like usual payment into like a day and like divide it into hours. But like my
Mm,
company,
mm.
it was pretty bad. And like after like over over hours like we only got like minimum wage.
Damn, that's well. Good thing you left that place.
Yeah. Like I
Would you
had like
say that is
extra
like
like 100
yeah?
bucks because of overtime work.
Would you say your situation or something similar to that is typical for like an average Japanese person working?
I think it's
Like
typical.
5 hour overtime.
I think it's typical within like supermarkets and like
Okay,
service kind of like restaurants and service kind of stuff.
I see. I see.
But I think like typically most companies just like make you work over hours like 3 hours max, 4 hour max.
Mm, mm.
Not
Damn,
sure though.
that's insane.
It is. It is.
Yeah, I don't want to work in Japan anymore.
And there's some people who actually likes
The-
working over hours.
Yeah,
There's some people who just
Why?
wants to, because like Japanese working
Like
culture, most like not most, some Japanese companies, like they still think that like people who works over hours are like the good employees, you know.
oh wow, that's like a very convenient way for people to like manage people.
I know, right?
I mean, look, it's like let's say you have like a project-based um, job, and
Hmm.
your task is to finish project by project. I
Hmm.
feel like that's kind of understandable. It's like I enjoy, doing these projects and finishing it. So like, to finish my project, I'll work a little bit overtime, sure. But like,
Mm.
if it's not like a project, it's like more like you do the same tasks every day, or a set of tasks every day. Then like, I don't know, companies are like, oh, it's you're like a good person if you work overtime. That's
That's how like
I don't know, man. That sounds like just a,
old Japanese company like used to like think.
yeah,
Like a couple of years ago, that was like the norms, you know. People who work
yeah,
overtime is
yeah.
the best employee. But
That's just
like
BS.
recently, it's kind of like moving toward like productivity is better and leaving on time is
Right,
the best.
right. Yeah, you don't want to kill your workers.
I know, right?
Dang.
But there's still some companies that doesn't really care
Yeah, like
as
the
long as you
old
work.
fashioned traditional,
Yeah,
like
it's bad.
basically living fossils. Yeah, I don't know. So not recommend people to work in Japan, I'd
I
say.
don't. But like the only good thing
Yeah, yeah,
about working in
yeah,
Japan
yeah,
is like they automatically take the tax out of your payment so that you don't have to do your tax yourself,
yeah. You don't
which
have
is like
to
a
like
little
every
good in
year, like during the
America.
spring,
Yeah,
do your tax return. That's true. Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's
Taxes
good
are annoying.
and bad at the same time, you know, because you don't know
Oh yeah, yeah.
if your company's like
Right.
taking
What they're
away too much money from tax,
right,
you know.
right. That's true. That's true.
But for like lazy people like me, it's a lot better. It's very convenient.
Mm. You don't have to hire anyone to do your taxes because they
Yeah,
just um take it out for you. So
yeah. For lazy people, it's
what would
very
you say like
convenient.
the
Hmm.
what would you say is like what is the average like Japanese salary, Japanese person salary?
Average, I think it depends on your age.
Oh, okay. But someone
Um,
that's like maybe fresh out of college starting 23, 24.
so like the average within like early 20s, right? Men in early 20s,
Mm-hmm.
the average yearly wage is 284 man. How much is that?
284. So like
Two million
if
eight
it's like
hundred forty
100, so like if it's two or
JPY.
100 yen per dollar,
Mm-hmm.
then it's like what?
Like
Wait, you said
20,000,
it's what?
28,000.
280?
Yeah,
Yeah,
208
28,000.
$28,000 per year
I see.
is the average according to
Hmm. What would you say like
Mitsubishi UFJ.
okay. What would you say is like the average for like a salaryman, an office worker? Because I think that's a little bit higher, right?
Should be. Um,
Maybe
Yearly
typing in
wage
Japanese.
average is about 46,000 USD.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's I think US is around that too, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, or actually US is a little bit higher, but
Well, US should be higher.
actually a lot more
A
higher.
lot more higher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But living costs are higher, so
Yeah. But like
I
Japanese
see.
living cost is like getting higher too, but like the payment is not going
That's
up.
true. Right.
So like right now, I'm
So
still
then,
like able to like
yeah,
live comfortably in Japan with my payment
yeah.
right now.
Hmm.
But I'm kind of like worried about the future, you know, because like the payment is not going up and like the
Because
prices is all going up.
okay, I guess inflation's a lot higher than
Yep,
people's like actual like salary increase. Okay.
yep.
Would you
Salaries is
say
not
that you're more
increasing.
on like
Hmm.
on the higher end compared to the average like Japanese person?
I think I'm like the average.
Oh, average?
I
Okay.
think so. Let me search for the
Okay.
average for like 26-year-old.
So like so then I guess if you're earning average, then you are able to live comfortably.
Yeah, right now, for now at least.
Okay. Okay. Because I think for America, depends on where you live, obviously.
Hmm.
But if you live like in like maybe even for Southern California areas, if you earn like the U.S. average,
Hmm.
I think it's a little tight. Like
No,
how much you, yeah.
but again, my like living comfortably is like eating natto gohan for
Mhm.
every dinner.
Okay, okay. So maybe it's not as representative. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, so like that I'm like a bit higher than average.
Okay.
Not that high, but like a bit higher.
Okay, I see. How much is your rent like around average of what most people pay? Around like
Like my rent
uh
is, I think it's on the cheaper side within this
oh, cheaper
area.
side?
Yeah.
Okay. What is like an average like well, I guess it's kind of depends, but like I
It depends on your
so for I
place.
guess single male, but like usually okay, Japan has like a different way of um like for America you say like one bed, one bath unit.
Mm.
But like in Japan they use like the size of like tatami
1K.
mats, right? Right,
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Or yeah, yeah, yeah. All
Like
right, right.
recently it's
But
more like
I guess
1K, 1DK, 1LDK.
what's K? What does that
K
mean?
is kitchen. So
Oh,
like
okay.
your room and the
So
kitchen is separated. Yeah.
so if you want like your own room and then
Mhm.
there's a bathroom and a kitchen,
Mhm.
how much do you think is like the average? Like if you're living in Tokyo, like within the
In
Tokyo area.
Tokyo, within Tokyo.
Yeah.
Cuz like right now I live in Kawasaki area, which is Kanagawa,
Oh,
right as
right,
like
right.
on the edge of Kanagawa.
Of
Like
Tokyo.
Tokyo is like walking
Yeah.
distance, but like
Yeah. But like within the whole Tokyo area, you're like outside of it, right?
yeah. And within my area, the average
Mm-hmm.
for like 1K, so like a room and a kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
room, kitchen, and
Okay.
bathroom is like
Yeah.
62,900, so 629 USD about.
Yeah. That's pretty cheap. Okay, well, if your wage is if your wage is pretty low, then it might be expensive. But I guess for American people, or maybe I guess people in California, it's like that's pretty cheap, I'd say. But
But like
yeah,
if you go
I
into
think
Tokyo,
1K, yeah.
if you go into Tokyo, like depending on what part of Tokyo you want to live in, like
Hmm.
if you want to live in like Setakayaku, which is like apparently like the most popular area in Tokyo to live in, the average
Right.
is
That's where
like
the celebrities live.
8万7,000, so like 800.
Oh, $800,
Yeah,
which is pretty low
in
to me.
American
But
standard.
again, I don't work in Japan. Yeah, I don't work in Japan, so like it
Yeah,
might be, your lower wage might offset it. So,
like
but
yeah, that's like
yeah,
double my rent.
right. I think I know someone that lives in like Shibuya, and like
Hmm.
literally. 2 minutes walking from the Shibuya JR train station, right?
Damn.
And their place is like they have a living room, they have a kitchen, they have a bedroom and a bath unit, right? Bathroom
Damn.
unit, right?
It's
And I
rich.
think
Uh-huh.
theirs is like 20만, so like over 20만, so like it was like over 2K,
But like that's like average for
which
American
is
standards.
yeah, it's like yeah, because I think again it depends on where you live, but if you live near like like a city, for example, like in San Diego or like LA,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like in a studio, which is basically the same thing, is probably
Mm.
like 1.8 to 2K, 2,000 per month, so it's around the same.
Damn.
But again, this is like literally next to the train station. You're in the center of Shinjuku, so
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
if you consider that, it might be a little bit cheaper, like the value you're getting. But yeah,
Damn.
I guess so.
Like personally, I'm not willing to pay like 500 USD for
More than
rent.
1,000. Oh
Not more than
shoot,
500.
Uh, I'm paying $1,000, or I will be paying $1,000 for rent for a 2 bedroom, 2 bath unit that I'll be sharing with another person.
Damn. Damn.
Yeah, so it's yeah. I mean, it's yeah, that's really cheap too because um around UCLA, it's like
I never use it.
I feel
Yeah.
like
That is
yeah,
very cheap.
if you want to get a studio, so your own like place, one
Mm-hmm.
bedroom, 1 bath unit, it's probably like $2,000 just for that. So
Damn. Damn.
yeah, housing is literally stupid in America. Yeah, so I feel like that's one positive thing Japan has over America.
Cheap rent. Like when I
Yeah,
was
I mean,
in Kanagawa,
and yeah,
when I was in Kagoshima, right? My rent was like
yeah.
literally like 280.
Damn.
And my rent when I was in Nagasaki, it was like 100.
Oh my god, that's insane. That's yeah. I mean, I guess you can't compare too much because different. But I feel like living
Yeah,
in Japan, living costs are like really cheap.
it is, it is. Compared to America, that is.
Yeah, I feel like the best scenario is you work for an American company, you, but you work in like their Japanese office, like their office in Japan or in Tokyo. So then
Yeah,
you basically have the salary
of
equivalent,
American,
American equivalent. Yeah,
but the rent and living cost is Japan. Yeah, that's the best. That's a dream.
that's a bit because when I was in Japan for 3 months, like I feel like my sense of like monetary values, like my sense of like money,
Mm-hmm.
like financial costs, like was it just got screwed up so badly because I was like, dang, everything's so cheap. Like I feel like I'm a rich person when I'm like on the poorer end.
Like you'll feel even more richer in
That
like
was,
Philippines.
yeah. If you go to some other um country, yeah, it's probably even more cheaper. Yeah,
I want to try
yeah.
road
When I went
tripping.
to
Uh-huh.
when I went to Mexico, I'm granted it was Tijuana, so it's one of the more expensive cities I think in Mexico, but
Mm.
it still felt really cheap. So, yeah, so I guess mm, yeah, I guess yeah, that's one of the positive things about living in Japan.
Living in Japan, yeah. Not working in Japan and living in Japan is the best.
Oh yeah. Living in Japan is the best. Working in Japan, that's another story. Yeah,
It is.
that's true.
It is. So like yeah, when it comes to work, I don't recommend it. Don't come to Japan to work unless you're like just working for like a year or two for experience. Then it should be fun.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But if you're
Or if you
planning to
have
like
something
work for
already
like
set
20
up,
years, don't. Yeah. Or if
yeah,
you have something set up.
like maybe yeah. All right. I
Okay.
think that kind of wraps about. I don't know what we'll talk about next, to be honest. Well, I mean, it's gonna be 2 weeks from now, but
Yeah.
um, if we could get like a guest, that'd be cool.
If we can't,
but if
we might wanna try like streaming something. I don't know.
maybe,
Maybe.
yeah. Nothing set, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll for the English one, we'll reconvene in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. Once again, if you're looking or viewing this, if you have any like topics you want us to discuss, or
Yep.
questions, just feel free to hit yeah, type in the comments below for YouTube or email in one of the I think yeah, we put our emails on the description of the
Mm-hmm.
YouTube video anyway, so you could email it there too. So, but yeah, I think
That's all for this week.
that's about it for now.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you again for viewing, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Have a great week or
Bye
weekend,
bye.
depending on where you're watching this one. Bye.
Yes. Yes.